Subject: Supplemental Evidence Portfolio Executive Audit of Fiduciary Failures, 2023 to 2026, and Historical Conflict Analysis. Dear Mr. Badrove, to assist the Division of Banking's review of Devon Bank's upcoming July 28, 2026 response, I am formally submitting this Supplemental Evidence Portfolio and Historical Audit to be attached to complaint number 10,335. The enclosed audit represents a meticulous, data-driven reconstruction of exactly 46 formal written requests sent to Devon Bank's Trust Department. It demonstrates a consistent, documented pattern of administrative neglect, including a 50% silent ignore rate on critical communications regarding housing, storage, and medical needs, alongside the unauthorized blocking of asset transfers to external institutions. Furthermore, this portfolio outlines the historical continuity of my trust's administration, establishing that Devon Bank assumed successor trustee status with full access to, and prior knowledge of, a closed-loop network of Chicago-based operators dating back over 40 years. Key Metrics Table, March 2023 to May 2026. This table summarizes the operational performance of Devon Bank's Trust Department regarding formal, documented requests, metric count administrative context total formal email requests sent 46 all written requests sent directly to Devon Bank Trust officers. Emails met with absolute silence 23/46, 50%. Requests completely ignored with zero reply or acknowledgement. Emails with general responses 23/46, 50%. Responses limited to administrative gatekeeping, example demanding further invoices/receipts for previously submitted items. Unresolved demands, October 2023 list, 11/12 11 out of 12. Emergency points remain completely unaddressed to this day. Asset transfer requests ignored. Multiple requests to move assets to external accounts, UBS, America First, physically blocked or ignored. 2 chronological timeline of material fiduciary failures. Below are key historical points extracted from the master inventory demonstrating systemic neglect and financial harm. March 29, 2023, Number 1 initial inquiry regarding why the basic transfer of funds took 8 months and 36 emails to initiate. Met with administrative delays and gatekeeping. August 15, 2023, Number 8 formal alert regarding poor investment performance, a demand for a financial review, and warning of unpaid bills. No audit or review was performed. November 3, 2023, Number 12 sent a formal 12-point open letter detailing emergency needs, including critical dental/orthopedic medical care, life-saving asthma inhalers, then 10 months overdue, and urgent storage fees to prevent foreclosure. 11 out of 12 items were ignored or denied. November 11 to 15, 2023, Number 13, Number 15, Number 16 multiple urgent, daily warnings sent to trust officers stating that a Las Vegas storage unit containing my personal property was on the auction block due to unpaid fees. Devon Bank refused to wire the $25,000 in available liquidity before the deadline. My storage locker and belongings were permanently lost to auction on November 15, 2023. April 4, 2024, Number 23 submitted a formal, signed request to transfer Trust Number 2 holdings to UBS. Devon Bank ignored the request and initiated no transfer. June 20, 2024, Number 28, and June 28, 2024, Number 30 submitted an urgent request to transfer $50,000 to America First Credit Union to cover immediate living expenses. Completely ignored. May 29, 2025, Number 42 sent a formal letter outlining 7 specific demands, including a forensic audit, a performance review, a list of holding instruments, and the identities of the trust committee. Devon Bank met this letter with absolute silence. May 11, 2026, Number 46 inquired why market short positions, BUD, DIS, TGT, and protective hedges, gold/silver, were blocked, and requested Steve Lewis's professional qualifications. Ignored. 3. The 6 regulatory smoking guns. 1. Lack of licensed investment fiduciary oversight. On July 30, 2024, Trust Officer Steve Lewis admitted in writing, "We act as a trust company and not as RIAs or broker-dealers." Regulatory implication, Devon Bank has consistently blocked my market directive hedges, stop losses, and protective trading requests. Yet, they explicitly admit they do not employ a licensed registered investment advisor, RIA, or Series 7 broker-dealer to make these discretionary management decisions. They are exercising absolute investment veto power without active, licensed advisory credentials. 2. Unreasonable denial of accommodations, ADA Section 504/Title 3, as a member of a protected class due to documented diagnoses of dyslexia and ADHD, I am legally entitled to reasonable modifications. Regulatory implication, Devon Bank has weaponized dense, altered text blocks and deliberately refused to provide accessible visual charts, plain language financial data, or online portal access, which was delayed for over 20 months. They have actively used my reading disabilities to obscure the trust's movement and block transparent, independent review. 3. Coerced third-party tax liability to obtain basic, contractually mandated rent distributions. Devon Bank refused direct payment and instead forced my landlord/friend, Fred Waller, to sign a W-9 form. Regulatory implication, this converted an act of personal assistance into taxable income for a third party, effectively utilizing state tax structures as a weapon to isolate me from my immediate support network. 4. Physical asset seizure through willful delays. Devon Bank routinely utilized gatekeeping strategies demanding budget sheets, invoices, and written estimates multiple times for items they already possessed. Regulatory implication, this manufactured delay was directly responsible for the auctioning of my Las Vegas storage locker and the towing of my vehicle, resulting in the permanent destruction of over $100,000 in personal assets while the bank sat on hundreds of thousands of dollars in trust liquidity. 5. Unauthorized disbursements to trust authors/supposed successors. The violation, Devon Bank has authorized and executed trust disbursements to attorney Sherwin Abrams and Terry G. Chapman, acting as supposed successor trustees and trust authors, without my written authorization, prior notification, or the provision of transparent invoices and billing statements. Regulatory implication: facilitating third-party legal disbursements to the very attorneys who drafted the restrictive instruments without beneficiary consent or detailed accounting violates the Illinois Trust Code's strict duties of loyalty, disclosure, and transparent administration. 6. Undisclosed leverage of life insurance, the Guardian Life asset, the violation. In 2018, a life insurance policy through Guardian Life was initiated on my life, with the trust/trustees designated as the beneficiaries. Despite formal written inquiries in February 2024 and June 2025 demanding the in-house ledger and clarification on whether loans have been taken out against this policy's cash value, Devon Bank has consistently refused to provide an accounting of this asset. Regulatory implication: withholding the ledger of a trust-owned life insurance policy raises severe regulatory red flags regarding the potential unauthorized stripping of cash value or undisclosed leverage of trust collateral. 4. Historical chain of trust administration and prior corporate alignments. To assist the Division of Banking's understanding of the historical alignment of these entities, the administration of my trust assets has been managed by a closed, interlocked network of Chicago-based operators and entities dating back over 40 years. The Pre-Regulatory Corporate Partnership, 1983 public regulatory filings confirm that Milton Mickey Lefton, Treasurer/Director, and Attorney Terry G. Chapman, Secretary/Director, were active business partners and joint shareholders in Business Ventures Incorporated, 20 North Wacker Drive, Chicago, years before assuming fiduciary control over my family's assets. This establishes that the legal architects and original trustees operated as an interlocked corporate bloc prior to assuming fiduciary control over my family's assets. The Adams Street Association, 1985 to 2007. Milton Lefton subsequently operated Asset Financial Services Incorporated directly out of a shared, co-located physical office suite on Adams Street in Chicago with attorney Sherwin Abrams, the trust author and self-named successor trustee. This allowed for a closed loop of legal and financial control over my family's assets. The North Star Transfer, 2007 to 2022. Milton Lefton transitioned this book of business to North Star Investment Management Corp. in 2012, continuing the pattern of utilizing dense, quantitative formula trading without independent, licensed advisory oversight. The Devon Bank succession, 2022, present. When Devon Bank assumed successor trustee status of Trust Number 2 in late 2022, they did so with full access to the multi-decade files of the Lefton-Chapman-Abrams network. Despite my immediate, documented warnings regarding this closed-loop history, Devon Bank refused to conduct a standard entry audit, ignored my warnings, and chose to maintain the exact same pattern of administrative neglect and asset isolation. V. Conclusion and request for regulatory intervention. In light of the material conflict of interest presented by Devon Bank's current executive leadership, namely, Bank President Chaucer Redwinkle's immediate former role as Director of Banking at the IDFPR, it is imperative that this complaint be reviewed under the strictest, most transparent standards of independent scrutiny. The evidence compiled in this supplement demonstrates that my grievances do not stem from a standard discretionary trust disagreement. Rather, they represent a systemic, 40-year pattern of fiduciary breaches, structural isolation, and blatant violations of federal and state disability protections. I request that the Division of Banking compel North Star Investment Management, ORBA, Charles Schwab, Chapman/Abrams and Devon Bank to produce full, forensic accounting of both Trust Number 1 and Trust Number 2 as well as the A.N. and Pearl G. Barnett Foundation, including the complete in-house ledger of the Guardian Life policy, as part of their formal response by July 28, 2026. Thank you for your continued oversight and commitment to regulatory integrity. Sincerely, Alexander Barnett.